إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده وأشهد أن محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. وقال الله سبحانه وتعالى يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. وبعد, my beloved brothers, respected sisters, we begin as we always like to do by expressing words of gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah is the one who has created us. Allah is the one who guides us. Allah is the one who sustains us. Allah is the one who forgives us. And Allah is the one who has promised those of us who obey Him and follow His command that He will prepare for us a special place in paradise when we leave this earthly existence and move on towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. My brothers and sisters, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has designed our lives and our existence here in a particular manner. And that is, He has caused us to live, allowed us to make decisions about whether we want to follow His way or not. And He has designed the life in such a way that He places obstacles and trials along our way. Not so that He wants to punish us, but these obstacles are intended to help us to grow and to move to the next level. It's just like a kid playing a video game. When you move from level 1 to level 2 to level 3 to level 4, that's how you become a master, an expert. You don't just become an expert by going to level 5. You wouldn't understand anything at level 5 unless you've gone to the experience of the 4 other levels. And so Allah graduates us by difficulties and hardship. And there's 3 areas that I want to talk about today that we need to make sure we have firmly done, both individually and collectively, or else Allah will not grant us success. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created humanity, the shaitan was asked by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make prostration to Adam alayhi salam. Shaitan's response called, Ana khayrun min, that I am better than him. Khalaqtani min nar wa khalaqtahu min tin. That you have created, Allah gave a reason, the Shaitan gives a reason why he is not prepared to bow down to Adam. He says, one, I feel I am better than him. And here is my reasoning for arriving at that conclusion. That you made me from fire and you made him from clay. And in my estimation, fire is more powerful than clay. So how can I bow down to him when you made me with something more powerful than you made him with? And Shaitan, of course, was cast out, and he promised that he will spend the rest of his existence working on trying to get people like us, the believers, away from the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And one of the most amazing things Shaitan has done, he has managed to convince humanity, who have all been created from the same stuff, that we are not equal. That we are consistent of those who are higher and those who are lesser. And even though Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this Prophet, have taken great pains to establish to us the importance of seeing each of His creation, all human beings, as being equal, we have found a way to give life to that and to resist that. Allah says in the Quran, Ya ayyuhan nas, inna khalaqnakum min dhakar wa untha, wa ja'alnakum shu'uban wa qabaila lita'arafu, inna akramakum 'inda Allahi atqakum, inna Allaha 'alimun khabir. O humanity, O mankind, we have created you from one male and one female, and then from these produced nations and tribes, in order that you may know one another. And the most elevated among you, the most noble among you, is the one who has a better connection of taqwa with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah is Alimun Khabir. Allah knows and He is aware of everything. Prophet ﷺ in his last sermon took pains to also say this. In a time when there was Arabs and non-Arabs, blacks from Africa was being enslaved by Arabs and people of society, and he said an Arab is not superior to a non-Arab, and vice versa. And a white is not superior to a black, and vice versa. Again, trying to establish his people, our Muslims and the believers, that as far as we are concerned, we are equal creation before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that no one should be treated with favoritism, no one should be discriminated against. And so when the woman, the high-ranking woman of Banu Makhzum tribe, stole something, and the punishment for stealing was to cut off her hand, they wanted to plead with Rasulullah ﷺ to give her a pass. What do they call it? A mulligan? To give her a free pass and don't punish her because she was a high noble woman. And no one wanted to go and approach the Prophet to ask for this. Usama bin Zayd said, I'll go, and when he came to her, said, Zayd, don't ask for things which are involved in the punishment of Allah. He says the reason why the nations before you were destroyed was because when those in high places in the society stole, they were forgiven. And when the poor stole, they were punished. That wallahi, if Fatima, my own daughter, was to steal, I would not offer her. Again, establishing the principle that we are all equal before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and no one has an extra special right to be treated with a higher place than the other. And the only distinction is those who are closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the Sahaba radiallahu anhum sought to establish this principle. And that is why you find in the society of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, a Bilal was an ex-slave, was able to be treated with such dignity, equal before everyone else, that he got this, the cherished position of calling the people to prayer. Despite his background, despite being black, despite being an ex-slave, despite having no protection from people with tribal affiliation, Prophet ﷺ said he was more meritorious in this position than Joseph. Umar al-Khattab radiallahu anhu continued, and all the Khulafa al-Rashidun continued with this practice. And there arrived a moment in Jerusalem when the Muslims went there and they surrounded the city of Jerusalem. And you had Sepphoris, which was the Christian patriarch, surrounded, and he was sitting in there, and he said, I am not going to give up to you Muslims unless the Khalif himself comes here, and I will surrender to him. You had Khalid ibn Walid, Ubaydullah, you had so many prominent Sahaba, they requested Umar al-Khattab to come. And Umar al-Khattab set out for this journey from Medina to Jerusalem with one donkey and one servant. And he and his servant took turns to ride this donkey. So they traveled. Again, establishing, even though this was a worker for Umar al-Khattab, one of his servants, he didn't say, no, I will ride and you just follow. There's moments when the servant rode, and there's moments when Umar al-Khattab rode. And as they were going into Jerusalem, it was the servant's turn to ride the donkey. And the servant pleaded with Umar al-Khattab and says, you go, because you are the leader. It is better that you ride in with the donkey, so they will see and understand that you are the leader. And he says, no. It is your turn to ride. And Umar walked into Jerusalem with his shoes in his hands, his servant next to him, mistook his servant for the Caliph. And that monarch watched from outside, through and saw this display, and found out it was Umar al-Khattab, because the Muslims had established. And then he turned to his people and said, we will never defeat these people. And even when one of the Sahaba radiallahu anhu came, Abdullah came and said, Umar, what an amazing performance. In other words, this was very impressive that you walked in instead of going in a donkey. As if to say to Umar, this was a political stunt that you did that came out very well. Umar hit him in his chest. I said, I wish you didn't say that. Understand that we were a humiliated people and Allah elevated us with Islam. We were weak and Allah made us strong. This is not a political stunt. This is a principle of our religion, that we treat people equally before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When one of his soldiers in one of the campaign, they went to a lake and they wanted to find how deep this lake is before the soldiers, the Muslim soldiers were going to cross. The commander says, we can't allow any Muslim soldier in the village and force this person to walk in this lake to see how deep it was. And have that person walk and walk and walk until that old man drowned. And when Umar al-Khattab heard about this, he summoned that commander. And he was so angry. For 3 days he had him waiting there before he could even muster up the civility and the calmness to talk to him. Then he said to him, if it wasn't for setting a precedent, I would have had you killed for what you did. We don't treat people like that. And what has happened with our world is Shaitan has convinced some of us that we are better than the other. We have now begun to use color. I am white skinned, I am better than black skinned people. We use culture, that my culture is superior to yours. We use wealth, that I am rich, so somehow I am better than you. We use nationality, that I'm an American, and so anybody who's not an American is lesser than me. And when we begin to do that, and to demarcate people based on culture and nationality and wealth and all the other demarcations, it becomes easy to oppress each other. And that is why it's okay if I take brown-skinned babies and put them in cages, because I don't see them as equal to me. It's okay if I kill a set of people over there who have a different color from us or a different state from us, even though they're refugees, because I don't see them as equal to me. And this is the great trick of Shaitan, in that he has allowed this to happen, and so we have 90% of the problems in the world stems from this. And that I am better than him. And we Muslims also have begun to buy into this, even though religion teaches otherwise. I have witnessed personally myself during the Hajj, where there was a dignitary that wanted to make tawaf, and he had 40 soldiers around him, and he went into the haram and pushed every single person out. All the people who were making the tawaf, the soldiers formed a ring around him, and everyone else was pushed out. People were falling left and right as the soldiers moved, while this dignitary calmly walked, made his tawaf. That kind of blindness, I don't know what goes through his mind to think that that Hajj of his is going to be accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when it's done at the expense of maligning so many of these beautiful, humble guests of Allah that came. And I'm afraid that what is happening there, I don't like to criticize Saudi Arabia, but slowly the Hajj is becoming a place where only the rich can afford to go. The poor places are even staying there. It's being bulldozed to put up 5-star and 6-star hotels. That after a while, only the people who have a lot of money, we're making Hajj inaccessible to the poor. All of this stuff, the way bosses treat servants and the way we treat each other, this is not Islam. And this is causing many of the problems. And so I say to all of us, understand that the Shaitan has caused some people to feel superior to others, And He has also caused some of us to feel inferior to others. There's so many Muslims I meet, and they feel they can't amount to much. They lack self-esteem. They feel that I'm not qualified to do anything. And they sit and buy into this idea that I cannot amount to much. And so we operate like a victim, going through life, looking to find excuse for why we can't produce and do more with our lives. Shaitan has allowed us to buy into either feeling superior or feeling inferior. Both are wrong. For we are all equal before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so that's the first thing that we must come to grips with. Secondly, the time is very short, and I have like 4 or 5 minutes left, is we have got to change our attitude towards knowledge. We have a religion that began with Iqra, but there is a certain malaise and a certain disinterestedness to learn about our religion that is really incredible to watch. We live in an age where you could find information on almost every topic of the world. And you could Google almost anything you want to know about this land. But we live among people, ourselves, who have so little knowledge about deen. There is no excitement to learn about our religion. By and large, most of our people remain ignorant. You don't see the passion and zeal to want to learn about this land. The average Muslim doesn't even know what breaks wudu. How many of us memorize a surah after Ramadan? How many of us have read an Islamic book in the last month? We don't have the zeal and enthusiasm to learn about our deen. Amidst all the information that we have phones with apps that will give you all you need. Just who will listen? Who will? We don't have time to recite the Quran, much less memorize it. How many of us have picked up the book and finished reading one juz after Ramadan? And so we have this apathy towards knowledge that is truly extraordinary and is not from the heritage of Islam. We used to walk 200 miles to go collect one hadith. With the zeal and enthusiasm. I teach a lot of young people, and you will know the ones that have a light in their eyes about knowledge, an excitement to learn new things, and then the ones who just glaze over, not interested. Allah will not honor us and elevate us unless we begin to learn our deen. How can we be doctors and engineers and accountants, which says we have sharp minds? We have discipline to sit and absorb knowledge in a concentrated way. We go and we spend years, 5, 6, 7 years in a school, every day going to classes in an organized way and doing it with enthusiasm. And we don't have the zeal to even learn or memorize anything about religion. Why is that so? When this one is part of the line, compulsory on us, that will start the family. And so we've got to come to grips with that. Our community needs to be more learned. We've got to get back to learning about our deen. I interact with Muslims all the time, and I can tell you, it saddens my heart at the ignorance and lack of knowledge of our community, about our religion. About our religion. So many don't know to recite the book of Allah, so many things, simple things. And so we've got to get that honed down. If you or I, you are not always, every single day, engaging and learning something new about the deen of Allah, then you have to say, look, I need to change that. We should not relegate ourselves to a society where the scholars and the Hafiz al-Quran and the Imams are here and just we remain dumb, and whenever we want something to know about the deen, we go ask them. Instead of trying to learn ourselves. And the third thing that we need to really get a grip on is we've got to understand that this attachment to the dunya will destroy us. The dunya is a wonderful place. As the Prophet ﷺ said, green and fresh and always invited. But our relationship with dunya has to be very, because the dunya will sap from you your time and your energy and destroy yourself and your actions. When you look at those who are immersed in the dunya, they have no time for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because the dunya engages you. You have to go to this sports arena. You have to watch this football game. You have to do this. There's seasons upon seasons of sports and this and that and so many and social media and all that the dunya engages and connects with. There are people who, as soon as they eat a meal in a restaurant, they have to take a selfie and post it online. Dunya keeps you engaged and absorbed in things which will not benefit you as much when you leave and go to the other place. وَالْآخِرَةُ خَيْرٌ لَكَ مِنَ الدُّنْيَا. And the akhirah is better than the dunya. كُنْ فِي الدُّنْيَا كَأَنَّكَ غَرِيبٌ عَابِرُ السَّبِيلِ. Be in the dunya as if you're a stranger or you're traveling through. We adopt the posture of a tourist. When they come to South Florida, what do? They take time to just enjoy the things which are there. You don't see them buying houses in South Florida, because they're just traveling. They just gather what they need for the moment, because they're leaving someplace else. We're all leaving this dunya. And so don't allow the dunya to cause you to say, I don't have time to come to the masjid, because the World Cup is on this week. And so I'll be absorbed with that. I don't have time to recite 2 verses of the Quran a day, because I'm so busy. I don't have time to connect to any of the things which will be important for my akhirah. The dunya will suck you and steal your time and get you involved in acquiring so much stuff that you have a hard time managing the stuff you have. All of us have storage problems. Why? Because dunya causes us to acquire and acquire and acquire. It's designed like that. You want to buy, you want to paint this little wall, the minimum you could buy is a gallon tin paint to paint this wall. And so you paint the wall and you have 3/4 gallon paint sitting at home forever. It's designed to allow us to collect and collect and collect things. And if we're not careful before we know it, every single thing that we own, we will have to give back. Even when we become pious, I've seen wonderful brothers and sisters, but then they collect like 50 sound, 40 bottle of it. They have 30 Quran in their home. We collect Islamic stuff and acquire it. Why? Like every copy of the Quran that you own in your home will testify to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala whether you utilize it or not. So if you have 30 Quran, get rid of 29 or 28. Whatever you're going to keep, make sure you're rotating, using them often, so they will not complain to Allah that they just sat there. When someone in the prison, someone out there in a third world country could have benefited from it. I took small Qur'ans like this to students in my country. They wanted it like hot cakes. I mean, they were so deprived of having small copies. But it was students learning and they didn't access that. That it was enough. I used to be like a thing, I put 12 of it, like a little token. Before I placed it there, it was disappeared. And request came, I need 40. The things we take for granted, people all over the world take it. So I ask you and I ask myself, when we're dealing with each other, don't let your cultural norms or whatever prejudice you have cause you to treat another person less than that. Even if it's your worker, treat people properly. Don't fall in the trap of what we're seeing happening. Number 2, show interest to learn the deen of Allah. He has made it accessible to us. We will be asked about that. One brother came one time, he asked me, Imam, can you tell me what is the last surah of the Quran, where I can find it? Where can I find the last surah of the Quran? And he brought the Quran to me. That's what we did. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala understand this. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us not to be one of those who are lapsed in any of these things. For Allah will not elevate our community or individual unless we get all three of these. Our religion took pains to make sure that Allah and His Rasul have conveyed the message about this. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect us from the trials and difficulties of the dunya and allow us to be able to focus on our akhirah as we live in the dunya. الحمد لله رب العالمين حمدا كثيرا طيبا فيه ونشهد ان لا اله الا الله ونشهد ان محمدا رسول الله ربنا اتنا في الدنيا حسنه وفي الاخره حسنه وقنا عذاب النار ان الله يامر بالعدل والاحسان وايتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون اذكروا الله